Imagine this. You're at a dinner party in ancient Rome. Someone passes a vial around the table, mixed into wine. You've done it before. Low doses, soft edges, makes the evening easier. You pour a little more than you meant to. Not a lot more, just a little. 20 minutes later, your mouth is chalk, your heart is racing, and you are sweating like you just ran a marathon. Then you look up. Your brother is sitting across the table, which would be unremarkable, except your brother has been dead for 2 years. You look around. Nobody else reacts. Your host is mid-sentence about something. Nobody else can see him. And that's then you understand that something has gone very wrong. However, it is way too late. Hey there. Today we're covering the drug that simultaneously functioned as a cosmetic, a surgical anesthetic, a murder weapon, and a religious experience across 3,000 years of human history, sometimes for the same person. We are talking about belladonna. Before we get into what just happened to your neurotransmitters, 2 things about belladonna that most people don't know. 1. Belladonna hallucinations are not like psychedelics. When you're on LSD, some part of your brain retains awareness that the drug is causing what you're experiencing. Belladonna removes that awareness entirely. You don't feel like you're hallucinating. You have no information suggesting anything is wrong. You've simply moved into a different reality with no memory of leaving the first one. 2. Belladonna is not a historical relic. Atropine, one of its primary alkaloids, is on the World Health Organization's list of essential medicines. It's used right now for cardiac arrest, nerve agent exposure, and surgical prep. The molecule that killed people at Roman dinner parties is the same molecule keeping people alive in emergency rooms today. Same compound, different dose. That's the whole story of pharmacology in one sentence. Now, let's talk about what you just drank. And, more importantly, what it's about to do to you. Belladonna means beautiful woman. Because Roman and Renaissance women dropped dilute extract directly into their eyes to dilate their pupils. Enlarged pupils signaled attraction. It worked. It also destroyed their near vision, made bright light agonizing, and put sustained strain on their hearts. They did it anyway. The history of beauty standards is mostly just a history of what people were willing to damage about themselves, and belladonna fits that timeline perfectly. The plant was named after death and marketed as a cosmetic. That's the whole arc. The medical use goes back to at least 600 BC. Assyrian physicians, Egyptian surgeons, Greek practitioners, all of them working with nightshade family plants for sedation and pain. The most documented application was the soporific sponge, a sponge soaked in a mixture of belladonna, mandrake, and opium held under a patient's nose before surgery. Ancient anesthesia. It worked often enough that surgeons kept using it. It also killed patients regularly when the dose ran too high, which happened constantly because potency varied by season, soil, and preparation, and there was no way to measure any of it. The margin between unconscious and dead was a guess every single time. To understand what belladonna does to you, you need one piece of context first. Your body runs on acetylcholine. It's the neurotransmitter managing your parasympathetic nervous system, heart rate, body temperature, sweating, saliva, pupil size. The responsible adult in the room with a hand on every dial. Belladonna's 3 active alkaloids, atropine, scopolamine, hyoscyamine, walk in and remove that adult from the room. They bind to your acetylcholine receptors and block them completely. Every system that was being managed now has no management. Here's what that actually means. First 30 minutes. It doesn't feel like a problem. That's the point. There's warmth in your chest that has nothing to do with the wine. The candlelight is doing something beautiful. Your mouth is drying out, but that seems minor. Your heart has climbed from 70 to 110 beats per minute, and you've noticed it the way you notice background music. Present, slightly loud, not alarming. Your pupils are fully dilated and locked. Sweating has already stopped. Your cooling system is offline and your core temperature is starting to climb, but you don't feel that yet. You feel good, slightly better than normal. This is the window where you could stop. You don't know that yet. 30 to 90 minutes? Now it's a problem. Heart rate at 140, pushing 150. Your chest feels pressured from the inside. You're flushed, completely crimson. That's your body desperately trying to radiate heat through your skin because sweating isn't an option anymore. It's not working. The heat has nowhere to go, and your temperature keeps climbing anyway. Your mouth is beyond dry. Swallowing is an effort. Your throat feels like it belongs to someone else. At the edges of the room, things are moving that shouldn't be moving. Peripheral figures, shadows with the wrong shape. You tell yourself it's the wine. 90 minutes onward, you are no longer at the dinner party. This is scopolamine. Unlike the other alkaloids, it crosses the blood-brain barrier. Once it's blocking acetylcholine receptors in your central nervous system, your brain loses accurate sensory input. And your brain doesn't go quiet when that happens. It fills the gap. It generates people, voices, environments, conversations, using the exact same neural machinery it uses to process real experience. The output is neurologically identical. There is no internal signal telling you something is wrong. The self-monitoring system that would flag this is running on the same receptors that just got blocked. You're not hallucinating in the way people mean when they say hallucinating. You're not seeing distortions or colors or shapes. You're somewhere completely specific, talking to someone completely real. Having an experience your brain is encoding as memory indistinguishable from anything that has ever actually happened in your real life. Your companions at the actual table are saying your name, touching your shoulder, trying to reach you. You cannot be reached. Where you are, they don't exist. Meanwhile, your body is running at 41 degrees Celsius. Above this threshold, proteins begin to denature. The molecular structures your cells depend on physically degrade. Your heart, running dangerously fast for hours, is approaching arrhythmia. The rhythm is destabilizing. Seizure risk is climbing. Without intervention, the endpoint is cardiac arrest or thermoregulatory collapse. So how does an ancient drug feel like? Survivors describe it in ways that don't sound like drug experiences. They don't say it was intense or overwhelming or frightening in the way drugs are frightening. They describe specific places, specific people, conversations with content they can partially recall afterward. One moment they were somewhere and then they were somewhere else, and both felt exactly as real as the other. Some describe it as calm. Wherever they went made sense to them. The internal logic held. There was nothing to be alarmed about, because alarm requires noticing a discrepancy, and there was no discrepancy to notice. Some describe terror, but the terror was appropriate to what they were experiencing, not to the drug itself. They were scared of something in the other place, not aware that a plant was responsible, just scared, the way you'd be scared of something real, because it was real, to every system in their brain that evaluated such things. The physical suffering, the heat, the racing heart, the desperate thirst, may or may not register depending on how deep the delirium runs. For some people, the body is screaming and the mind is somewhere else entirely. Two separate experiences, one person, only one of them present for what's happening to the other. The most disturbing part of a belladonna overdose isn't the cardiac risk, or the hyperthermia, or the seizures, though all of those will kill you. It's that the entire time it's happening, you're fine. You're somewhere. You're doing something. It all makes sense. And you have absolutely no idea that your body is on a table running at 41 degrees with people you love trying to bring you back from somewhere they can't follow.